Carson Kinsch out of Olathe East is up next after earning himself a spot in the finals. Going to give him a total score so far of 335.55. Kinsch out of Olathe East is up next.
That was a nice dive, too.
Dive.
Some eights.
And
eights
how about
in there,
that?
7.5s. Yeah.
Carson. It's Carson Kinsch out of Olathe East.
Let's go. Inward dive pike. His total score now is 354.10. Bryce Faulkner from Olathe South doing a back somersault with 1 1/2 twist. Degree of difficulty 2.3. His scores are 5.5, 6, 4.5, 5, 3, 2.5, 4.5. I just put that up. I don't. 7, 5.5, 5.5, 5.5, 5.5, 5, 6. 6.5, 5.5, 6.5, 6, 6.5, 6.57.
362 points for Charlie Matthews after his previous 8 and now the 9th. Of course, we're into the final 3 dives of the competition. We just keep on going. Michael Leonard was sitting at 255.30. Tyler Welch out of Shawnee Mission South up next. Welch is
2.5.
Point total. Make that 318.05. Judges' scores, coach, are starting to kind of level off here.
Yeah. Every diver will do 2 voluntary dives and, 2 optional dives, 1 voluntary.
After earning himself a spot in the finals. After 9 dives. Next up is Markel Russell out of Washburn Rural. Came in with a point total of 242.55. Now he's at 272 even. And a 5 1/4 average there. Yeah, Crawford out of Lawrence High, Chesty Lion.
If he gets this one in, that'll be a lot of points for him.
Sitting at 286.35 after 9 dives. Yeah, Crawford. Tate Harrison is up next. Nice dive by Tate Harrison. Great scores. Bounces him up to 329.25. Caleb Clayton out of Wichita Northwest up next. Came in with a 249-point score. Qualify for the final round. Top 8. Respectable scores pushes him up to 286.80. Ajay Joseph, 2.2 on DD for this dive. 255.25 is his score after 8. out of Campus High in Wichita. Brings his total there after those scores to 282.75. Aidan Rafols out of Olathe West. Happy with those scores. Brings him to 289.95. Spencer Eyen out of Blue Valley North now.
This is a tough dive. Back somersault, 2.5 twists.
Takes his time to get just the right bounce. Spencer coming in.
He was oscillating the board. So you look at about 4. If they oscillate the board more than 4 times, then before.
Ryan Ecton's going to be the last diver in round number 9. Just shy of 300 points so far for his first 8 dives.
Good.
Yeah, pops him up to 332.
Yeah, got a 7 on that. That's
starting in round 10 now. We go back to Elliot Alvers out of Lawrence Free State. One of the top scorers coming into the final rounds. The second of 3 here in the final round. And Elliot's got 394.7 points after 10 dives. Bryce Faulkner now coming in after 9 dives with 263.05. Wait for just the amount of spring. Just shy of 300 points after 10 dives, 299.3 for Bryce. Henry Cecil out of Shawnee Mission East. Going to be doing an inward 1.5 somersault. Henry Cecil, Lancer of Shawnee Mission East. Quite the range there, Coach, from 4 to a high 6.
Talking to these coaches, there's, because of COVID and other limitations, there's just been hit and miss practices. So some of the kids have only got in half the practices during the season.
Charlie Matthews here.
We're liable to see some 9s on that one.
Charlie Matthews. Hey, how about that?
10.
Coach, we've seen our first 10 here in the diving competition today.
And again, you do not see those very often.
Charlie Matthews.
But that was a great dive.
He certainly impressed one of the judges who scored that 10.
He impressed me on that one.
It's going to put Charlie in the top 2 scoring positions going into the final dive. He's got to like his chances. Michael Leonard now, Lawrence Free State.
Yeah, just didn't quite get his legs up high enough.
1.7 DD on that back dive.
This is going to be one of his voluntary dives.
Sets him at 281.65 for his point total. Tyler Welch, Shawnee Mission South. First year diver, getting it done for the Raiders. 315, entering his second to the last dive of this competition. Tyler Welch. That was a pretty looking dive there.
Yeah.
Inward dive, 1.5 DD.
5.5. That'll keep him in good stead.
348.05.
A 7.5 and a couple 7s in there.
Braden Roberts, one of the Lancers here out of Shawnee Mission East. Good score entering this round. Hey, got a little bit loose there. Got a couple of 5.5s out of that.
Yeah.
Carson Kinsch out of Olathe East is. Carson Kinsch out of Olathe East.
That was a nice dive, too.
Dive.
Some 8s.
And
8s
how about
in there,
that?
7.5s. Yeah.
Carson Kinsch got to be happy with that. Kansas 6A Boys Swim and Diving Championships. As we watch the final couple of rounds of the diving.
Oh, just a little bit long.
And a couple of 6.5s out of that. Puts him over 300. Scores between 3.5 and 5. Gives Keyan Crawford a 325 score, excuse me, 350 score. To those scores, it bumps him up to a 365 score with one more dive. AjayMMING Sean Brewer, Coach, Hall of Fame coach, Bruce Bowe with you. Dave Trimble.
That dive is higher DD and hope that you can get enough height to get it in.
Well, risk versus reward. Joseph out of, going to give him a total score of 311.55. So we wait for Aidan Rafols, the Olathe West Owl.
Now for these divers to qualify, they have to have hit a certain score. Plus, when you add the DD of their dives together, it has to reach a certain point.
Right there on his forward 1.5 somersault and a couple of twists.
Yeah.
Spencer Eyen out of Blue Valley North. Their second to the last diver here in our second to the last round. Spencer getting a lot of height there.
That's a very...
Yeah, there's a 9. Couple of 9s.
Yeah.
That's a total score. Ryan Spencer of just under 400 points. Acting out of campus in Wichita. And the 2 divers out of campus here. And a DD of 1.4. His inward dive. Range from 5 to 6.5. Brings him up to 355.8.
So sometimes you have to do that harder dive.
Just under 400 on his point total. This is going to be his last dive of these championship dives. An interesting bounce there.
No, I
Did he
didn't
get
quite
it
make
over?
it around, no.
Yeah.
Get that dive. They failed it. He didn't get all the way around.
One of the top scorers, regardless, you know, and I have a feeling, Coach, that he's still going to be one of the top 8 here with that point total. Bryce Faulkner's up next. Nice bounce. Plenty there. 2.1 DD on that reverse 2 somersault. Coming in just shy 300 points. Going to score 322.4. It's Bryce Faulkner's total after these 11 rounds. 6th bump and down. 2.7 DD there. The back somersault 2.5 twist. That's quite the range right there, Coach, from a 2 to a 5.
The twists are so hard to judge because you've got to know where which they're facing, and that's one of the few 10s I've seen in 43 years.
Charlie Matthews, 2.8 on that DD.
Yeah,
should multiply nicely.
Yeah, 5.5 and 6s.
446.55 for Charlie Matthews. Michael Leonard, Lawrence Free State diver, on for his last attempt. And round number 11 here, the Kansas State Diving Championship in beautiful, lovely Lenexa, Kansas. Yeah, couldn't quite get his legs back up.
Got his feet apart. See, he had a little twist when he went in, but it wasn't far enough to disqualify him. 2.5
to a 6 range on those scores, Coach.
Yeah.
But, you know,
they're not as good as you.
That's now that might be the funniest thing we've heard all day. but, you know, one of the reasons they take out the top two and the bottom two and average the others. Looks like he didn't quite get all the way twisted around. Tyler Welch.
He failed the dive. Yeah.
Going to finish with 248. Still a respectable score.
Now those were both the same dive. The difference was he finished facing over here, away from the board.
Just in. Matter of inches and trying to get that twist around. You said earlier today that it takes an amazing amount of abdominal, or, you know, kind of that middle section strength to pull those off.
Lost that a long time ago.
You and me both, my friend. It's Carson Kinsch out of Olathe East.
That's going to score real high for him. He didn't get his legs quite out. Not as high as I thought.
5 and 6.5. Total of about 438.40. Markel coming in with 306 entering this final round. And he got a 7 out of that one.
A reverse double somersault.
2.3 DD.
Now he went in with his hands up, so there'll be a slight deduction by the judges.
Mr. Crawford ends with about a 339 score for his last dive. Halfway through the final round here. Minutes away from crowning a state champion here in the 6A Kansas State Diving Championship.
Now, there are certain things that the diving referee can call like failed dives. Otherwise, the judges are responsible for.
I'm happy with that dive.
Probably about 6. We're going from 7 to 5.5.
Coach, you nailed it there. A happy medium at 6. A little delay on the scoreboard. Not to worry, folks. We'll have you covered one way or another. We're going to announce the winners. Not sure if they're going to be the official winners, but by golly, we're going to try. How about those scores?
From 5 to 7 on that.
Tate Harrison finishes with 394. Caleb Clayton out of Wichita Northwest. Caleb coming in with 334 points. I'm going to bump his total up a little bit. That back 1.5 somersault, half twist dive. Respectable 5.5 average. Brings him up to 370.10. Jay Joseph out of campus. Came in with 311. He's going to finish the day with 345.65. Aidan Rafols, just down the road, Olathe West High School, home with the Fighting Owls. 22.45 score. Not going to get over the 350, 360 area. Reverse. Hard dives, coach. You know, reverse 2 somersaults. They're doing it in midair and going into the water. Heck, I can't even do that in my living room. hurts just kind of watching it. You're going to have to go to yoga after this. Spencer Eyen, Blue Valley North. Got 2 more dives here, 2 more divers to finish up this final round in the Kansas State Diving Championships. Nice dive, not a lot of splash there. 441.50. The Spencer Eyen finish with
441.
441.
So that puts him 5 points behind
Charlie.
Matthews.
And Ryan Ecton is our final diver today. Ryan Ecton out of Campus High.
Front double.
2.9 DD.
Front triple somersault. I am not sure. Yeah.
Wide range from a 2.5 to a 5.5. It's going to put him at 390.6. Well,